Hey guys, welcome to question FM146 of the Further Maths Fortify study guide. This question reads, which one of the following expressions defines an arithmetic sequence? And then it gives you these 5 options. Now, what we can do, we should probably go through all 5 of these and decide whether we think it's arithmetic or not. There's a few little tricks in here that they're trying to catch you up with, but if you were to actually follow through each of these series and do a few of the numbers that would come up in that sequence, you should be able to fairly quickly determine whether this is an arithmetic sequence or not. So we'll go through from top to bottom. So our first sequence is an plus 1. So to get to the next step in our sequence, we need to add 0.75 to the first step in our, into the previous step in our sequence. So to get from 1 to the next, add 0.75. That looks very much like an arithmetic sequence, so we'll keep that circled for now. It is important, guys, when you're doing especially exam questions or SAT questions, if you have 5 options and you think it's the first one, still go through the rest of them. Because every now and then you get tricked with an answer that looks like a correct answer that isn't. Now, it doesn't always happen, so quite often the answer is A, but it's important to still go through and just fault check and double check yourself. Now, option B, the next sequence is, the next value in our sequence is the 2 previous values added together. So this looks like an arithmetic sequence because we have a bit of addition occurring here. So we have an plus an. But if we were to simplify that down, that could actually be something along the lines of an plus 1 is equal to 2an. So even though this looks to be arithmetic, it is in fact geometric. And we'll go through in a second and have a look at all these sequences. But at the moment, B isn't looking like one of our answers. Next step is C. Now C says that the next step in our sequence is going to be the negative of the previous. So that is multiplying. Now it doesn't look like it maybe, but that's actually applying a multiplication of -1 to each of the steps in our sequence. So once again, does not look like an arithmetic sequence. Our next option D looks very much like a geometric sequence. It's kind of blatantly obvious in that we have to get from one step to the next, we're multiplying by 0.75. Once again, doesn't look geometric. Now E looks a little geometric. It looks like a combination of geometric and arithmetic. And for that reason, it isn't an arithmetic sequence because we've also got this geometric part playing in here. We've also got this multiplication of 2. So also not that. So answer is A, and just to show it to you guys, I'm also going to just lay out the first 4 numbers of each of these sequences. So A's sequence would be 1, 1.75, 2.5, and then 3.25. So we can see that we're adding 0.75 on at each step. This is an arithmetic sequence. If we were to follow through with B's sequence, we would end up with 1, 2, 4, 8. We can clearly see that this number is doubling each time as we're adding those 2 values together. Option C, I should say, starts at 1, then becomes -1, then -1 times -1 is going to become 1 again, and we're just going to be alternating between 1 and -1. Our geometric sequence down here, 1 becomes 0.75, which becomes 0.5625, which then becomes 0.421, and that'll be 875. We might round it to a 9, and that will keep going on. So our last sequence is going to be 1, 5, 13, and 29. Now we can see just by looking at these numbers here that the clearly arithmetic sequence that we've been given is option A. So if you guys have any questions about how we've done that, how we've seen any of these sequences, or how we've determined that this is arithmetic in the first place, please drop those questions in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.